Dinner of Doom. Once, in a faraway land, lived a powerful king. Every day after dinner, he had his servant bring in one last covered dish. But the king would only eat it in secret. One day, the servant became curious. He snuck the covered dish into his room, locked the door, and carefully lifted the lid. Lying on the plate was a delicious-looking white snake. Surely the king won't notice if I have a tiny bite, he said. So the servant cut off a piece and swallowed it whole. At once, the servant heard noises outside his window. Two birds chattered about a witch they had seen in the forest. She had put a curse on a snake. The curse was both bad and good. The servant was amazed. Eating the white snake had given him the power to understand the animals talking. Was that a good or a bad thing? He wondered. The next day, the king discovered his most precious ring was missing. He suspected his servant. Either return the ring or find out who has it, shouted the king. If you do not, I will have you killed in the morning. The servant ran and hid by the lake outside the castle. There he heard some ducks talking. "Oh, my stomach," cried one of the ducks. "I accidentally swallowed a ring I found under the king's window." The servant grabbed the duck and raced back to the castle. "Serve this duck to the king for dinner," he said to the king's cook. And when the king began to feast on his meal, he found the ring. The king felt sorry for accusing his servant. "What can I do to make this up to you?" he asked. "Let me see the world for 1 year," said the servant. So the king gave the servant a horse and money, then wished him well. On his journey, the servant spotted 3 fish stuck in the river's thick reeds. "Please help us, we will soon die," they cried. Hearing this, the servant ran over and freed the fish. "Thank you," they said. "We will never forget your kindness." The next month, the servant saw 3 baby ravens. They had fallen from their nest. "We cannot yet fly," they cried. "Now we will starve and die." The servant gave the ravens his lunch. Then he carried them back to their nest. "Thank you," they said. "We will never forget your kindness." A year later, after traveling the world and doing many kind things, the servant returned to his great city. A buzz filled the streets. "The king's daughter is looking for a husband," everyone whispered. "This is the first happy news since the queen disappeared." When the servant saw the beautiful princess, he fell in love. Said the princess to the servant, "You can marry me only if you perform 2 tasks. First, you must find my royal blue ring at the bottom of the river." She secretly hoped the servant would drown. The servant dove into the deep waters. "I can't hold my breath long enough," he cried. Just then, 3 fish floated up with the ring. "For your kindness," they said, "we never forgot." Said the princess when she saw the ring. "Now, you must bring me a golden apple from a tree on top of the green mountain." She secretly hoped the servant would fall and die. The servant climbed as high as he could, but he was unable to reach the tree. Just then he saw 3 ravens. They dropped a golden apple into his hand. "For your kindness," they said, "we never forgot." The servant handed the king the apple and gave the princess a soft kiss. In a blink, she turned into a snake. "You ate a bite of my cursed white snake," screamed the king. "I too ate it and turned my wife, the queen, into a snake by kissing her." Upon hearing this, the angry princess reared up and bit the king and the servant. Then she slithered away as they both dropped stone cold dead. And as she did, the cackle of a happy witch ran out from deep in the forest. The end. Thank you for listening, boys and girls. This is from Your Story Fairies. Have a good night.